it's Lori. Today we are in Biloxi, Mississippi. This is an area that my husband, the captain, has to come to for work from time to time. And we did not bring the boat here today. We actually came by car and we're staying at one of the casinos. But I am always much more comfortable staying on the boat. So whenever we go to an area that's on the coast that we're going to be going to from time to time, I always want to check out the local marinas to see if I can find a great space for us to actually come on the boat, because it's always just so much more comfortable to stay on the boat. It's always better to sleep in your own bed if you have the choice, right? I thought we'd go check out a highly reviewed marina today, and I'll show you what I look for in a marina. I'm going to take a walk over to Point Cadet Marina. It's supposed to be one of the better marinas in the area, so let's go. After riding in the truck for so long yesterday to get here, it feels really good to be out and about, walking around. The weather is really nice. It's a bright sunny day, but it's not too hot, so I'm really loving that. It looks like I'm heading the right way, because we're going to that Point Cadet Marina. I am walking in the middle of the street because I don't see a sidewalk, and I'm sure people are thinking, what is this stupid woman doing walking around in the street talking to a camera? Hopefully I'll find a sidewalk soon. So there's kind of a checklist of things I'm always looking for in a marina. One of the things on the checklist is that it's got to have deep water access. Zoe Grace has a 5-foot draft, and that is a measurement of how much of the boat is actually below water. So with a 5-foot draft, we're obviously more comfortable the deeper the water is, but I can work with anything that is about 8 foot. If it's less than 8 foot deep, we're not really interested in traveling in that area. Another thing we look for is a fuel dock. We like to stay in marinas that have a fuel dock right there. It's just really convenient because Zoe Grace is thirsty. We use a lot of fuel. We also need a 50 amp power supply. That's how we plug the boat in. Now, the 50 amp power supply is not a deal breaker. We do have a generator, but it's just much more convenient when you are in a marina to run offshore power. And in order for us to run offshore power, we do need a 50 amp power supply. The location of the marina is also really important to us. We like to stay in marinas that are close to bars and restaurants and things that just make life much more convenient. Of course, we can do all our cooking and everything on the boat, but sometimes it's just great to walk over to a restaurant and let somebody else do the cooking and clean up while you enjoy a great meal. Also, when traveling, I think it's a lot of fun to go out into the local restaurants and see how people live in other places. It's super interesting. Something else we want to be really aware of when choosing a marina is the quality of the dock. We don't want to tie Zoe Grace off to a dock that is in really rough shape, that is going to tear up her hull or create any additional issues, things that we have to be really careful for. So we're always looking for a high quality dock, a high quality space to tie her off to. So with just a short walk, I walked all the way around that building when I could have just come around this way, and the marina's right here. But let's not kid anybody, I needed the walk. Now we're going to run into the office and see, do they even offer transient slips here? And if so, what are the details? What are the costs? What are the requirements? We'll find out all that good stuff. Well, I checked the hours on the website and the office is still closed, so there's nobody here to talk to. But according to the website, they do offer transient spaces. The transient space fee is just over $2 per foot, so that would put us right about $104 a night for Zoe Grace, plus $15 a stay for your electric power. I'm gonna risk it and go ahead and walk the docks and see what they look like, even though I haven't really asked anybody for permission. Hopefully they don't have any rules against that, but if they do, we'll find out soon enough. Let's see how that goes. Now, one of the first things I noticed about this dock is that these are not floating docks. These are fixed docks. What that means is as the tide comes up and down, the boat will go up and down with the tide, but the dock will not move. So you might be stepping up into the boat, you might be stepping down onto the boat, but you won't be stepping directly from the dock to the boat like we do at home. Now when I walk a marina, or if you go out and walk a marina, there's some things to keep in mind. You want to be really, really respectful of the boats that are on the docks at the time you're walking the marina. And the reason is that most of us boat owners consider our boats our second home. So when we're on our boats or when we have our boats parked somewhere, it's like having our home parked somewhere. We are at home. When you're walking down the sidewalk in front of somebody's home, you don't want to just stop and look in the windows because that's creepy, that's weird. And for me, when we're out on our boat and we are docked somewhere, that happens to us quite a bit. Most people are really curious about the boat and they want to look in and they want to see what it's like, and I don't blame them because I remember being the same way myself. But that's why I want to share it on YouTube, because I'm creeped out when I have people walk down a dock, and I've actually had somebody step onto our boat and start looking in it when I'm sitting there in my jammies drinking coffee. I definitely don't want to be the creeper that creeps anybody else out, so I'm always very, very respectful when I'm walking down the dock. And I think that's something that's really important to keep in mind. Now there are some features of this marina that I really, really like. Let me show them to you. Do you see how wide this pier is? Like, you could drive a car down this pier. That's awesome. That means if we were docked, say, right here at slip number 17, look how far away we are. We're probably at least, I would guess we're at least 15, 18 feet away from the boat that would be docked up behind us in slip number 7. Now what that does is that gives you a space that is close enough to make friends with your new neighbors, but also far enough away that if you don't want to hang out with your neighbors, you don't have to. That gives you the space you want to decide what's comfortable for you in that moment, because it changes from day to day, moment to moment. Well, that one has no power. So this marina actually offers 100 amp service. Each one of those connectors is a 50 amp service provider. Different boats have different power supply needs, and like I said a little while ago, our boat, Zoe Grace, needs 50 amps in power. So this would absolutely work for us. Another thing I really like about this marina is that each slip has its own fresh water supply. The reason that's important is because Zoe Grace only carries 168 gallons of fresh water. Now you can make 168 gallons of fresh water really last if you need to, but it's nice to be able to take a long hot shower at the end of the day and not worry about running out of water. And when you know you have a place that's right by the boat to fill back up, you're in good shape. You can take those long hot showers. Another thing I really like about this marina is that the piers, and even the finger piers are these smaller piers that go out down the side of the boat. That's called a finger pier. They are cement. When you're on a wood pier, the wood planks sometimes come undone and they can shift a little bit underfoot. If you've got good solid sea legs and you've been on a lot of wooden piers, you're prepared for that. But sometimes, most of the time, almost all the time, your guests don't. And so when you're going to have guests on your boat, if you've got a wooden pier that you are tied up to, like this one, you would need to really check it out and make sure it's really solid so that those people that don't have those sea legs, that are not really accustomed to walking out on these wooden piers, are still going to feel safe and secure coming out to visit you on the boat. Now this one looks really, really solid, feels really solid underfoot, and it seems like it's pretty well maintained. Now one of the great features about this marina that you don't see in very many marinas is that it's got this break wall, a wake break wall. And that's what this is out here, where all the birds are. Because on just the other side of this marina is access to the Gulf of Mexico. And so when boats are coming by, they're coming by at a pretty high rate of speed. And I don't blame them. That's what we bought a powerboat for. We want to be able to move from one place to the next easily and quickly if we want to. And the reason this wake break wall is so convenient is that if you're moored or tied up over to one of these piers and a boat comes hauling by, throwing up a great big wake, you're not going to be rocked. You're not going to have the bejesus rocked out of you on that wake. Now, I'm going to be right up front about the whole wake thing. I think I'm probably the only person on the planet that doesn't really mind a wake. I love the rocking of the boat, so there's that. Everybody else doesn't like the wake, and so that's why they built these wake break walls. You can kind of see the space between the supports. The water absolutely does flow through them, but the wake is so diminished that you won't even feel it on the other side of the wall if you have a big boat passing over from that side of the wall. Say wake break wall 3 times fast, I dare you. Wake break wall, wake break wall, wake break wall. Okay, so I said it 3 times, but I can't say it fast. Check this out, this is pretty cool. This is a floating dock. You generally don't see them as large. In my experience, I've seen them be much smaller because people just drive their jet skis right up on them and park them right there. This one's pretty big, it's pretty cool. So after considering all the factors and walking the marina, I would absolutely stay here. This would be a great place to stay. It's close to restaurants. It's got a solid pier. It's got the power that we need. It's got fresh water supply that we need. And it's close to everything we want to do. So this would be a go for us. Thanks so much for taking a walk with me and checking out the Point Break Marina. Next time we're here, we will definitely be here on Zoe Grace, and I'll make a video about that as well too. So please do subscribe to the channel so you can come and check out all this stuff and see all the great stuff we see. I'd love to share that with you. Thanks, bye. I feel like everybody's gotten so used to the sound of car alarms that nobody even notices anymore. Do y'all still hear car alarms all the time? I remember it was a thing a long time ago, but I don't remember it being much of a thing since then. Anyway, that alarm's been going off for probably 10 minutes now, and guess what? I don't think anybody cares.